What's up guys, my name is Zero Heroes and welcome to Call to Arms Panzer Elite. Now as you know, I've already done a couple of videos on this. One of them actually did really well, so I appreciate your support and thank you for watching that, which was all about the game coming out. But officially the developers of this game, as you know, are now doing a news development diary update for the game before it comes out. Now as you know, I do Call to Arms Gatesville Ostfront news update on the channel, and I thought why not a better way to introduce this game on the channel by starting off with news. Now I admit I'm a couple days late to this. This is part one and this came out a good couple days ago, but I actually only saw this today for some reason, and that was part two. So there's a part one, but there's also a part two which I think released either today or yesterday. So if you guys want to see part two, which I hopefully will be either releasing tomorrow or the next day, then make sure you stay tuned to this channel. And if you want to see more Panzer Elite news update and everything related to Panzer Elite, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and let's get straight into it. Hello tank commanders, welcome to our very first dev diary for Call to Arms Panzer Elite, our brand new standalone game developed from the ground up in the Unreal Engine 5. Now I have to admit, I had to look up whether Gates of Hell and other kind of related games like War Thunder were using the same Unreal Engine, but apparently they're not. I think Gatesville uses a Gem Editor 2, and War Thunder uses, I think, something else which I can't remember because my brain is dead. We've crafted a unique design philosophy and gameplay style that we believe will redefine your tank combat experience. In this diary, we're excited to reveal the details about gameplay mechanics that ensure every shot, every decision, and every battle is truly impactful. Now, I have to say, I've seen a couple comments that you guys have seen, and you said it looks very similar to either World of Tanks or War Thunder. Now, as I've already read kind of this whole article already, just so I can speed myself up on this, and I have to say it is very similar to one of the games, and you'll see in a second. So it says, forget simple health bars. In Call to Arms Panzer Elite, every shot matters and every component tells a story of battle. So that kind of already tells me that this is not like World of Tanks, because World of Tanks has a hit point system, whereas War Thunder has a component. So in War Thunder, as you know, you could do like realistic battles or simulation battles or whatever it is, and it doesn't have a hit point base. So it's basically in War Thunder, when you get in a tank or a plane, whatever it is, it basically depends on where you shoot the tank and where that component. So if you shoot the ammo rack, the tank will instantly explode. Or if you shoot the gun barrel and it breaks, that means you have to repair it, and you can't shoot it. Or if you do, then you basically blow up your own vehicle. So what I've read, this is very, very similar to War Thunder. But let's keep reading through and let me know in the comments down below whether you think this is kind of like a War Thunder knockoff, or you think this is something going to be completely different. Let me know down below. So the first one is going to be component-based damage. So we kind of have three topics here. We have the first one here. We have the 3 states of operation: normal, damaged, and destroyed. And then we have the components. And then lastly, we have the crew. And then we have the conclusion. So let's just get straight into it, as there is a lot to discuss. So first of all, the component-based damage. Our core philosophy for vehicle destruction is rooted in a component-based damage model instead of a single monolithic health pool. So that basically means that a component-based damage model is based on where you hit the tank. So if it's like, as I said, the gun, if you hit like a track, that means it will disable the track, or whether you shoot the turret and the turret will get stuck. Whereas in World of Tanks, it's basically when you hit the tank, it will just lose some hit points, and then you can kind of continue on. Whereas if you get ammo racked, you're instantly done like that, which is similar to World Tanks, but it's where you get hit in World Tanks, you actually just lose hit points. Each tank is a complex machine composed of numerous interconnected parts. This means that a well-aimed shot can disable a specific system, cripple a tank's performance, or even render it a smoking wreck, all without necessarily destroying the entire vehicle in one go. Now that's very interesting, because as you know, that if you get an ammo rack, I keep mentioning this, but if you get an ammo rack, it's basically a one shot, you explode. But what they're saying is that you can still shoot the tank but disable it and not completely destroy it. So it looks like there's going to be some sort of repair system in the game as well, because War Thunder has that as well, whereas if your gun goes down or your track gets damaged or your turret's jammed, that means you can repair it in War Thunder. So I wonder if it's similar to this. This system encourages players to think tactically about their shots, aiming for critical modules to gain an advantage rather than just spamming rounds. That's very true, because as you know in World of Tanks, is that spamming rounds is all about using gold and basically just spam it in tier 10 tanks, whereas in War Thunder, your rounds, your different types of shells matter more than in World of Tanks, because you can use more kind of regular rounds and gold rounds, what I call it. So yeah, it's very unique, and as you can see kind of from this wee clip here, you can see that this tank is aiming for the turret of the Sherman, aims for the hull, and then kills it eventually. So you can see there's like a wee system here, so it shows you the modules that you've knocked out, and then there's kind of like a wee skull when you kill it. Unfortunately, I can't pause this kind of wee bit, but if you guys want to kind of pause the video and kind of look through this carefully, then you can. So yeah, you can see that you're obviously driving a Tiger up against a Jumbo Sherman, and you can see that it takes out the tank. But look at it, you can see the explosion, you can see like the fire coming from the turret, you can see even kind of the blaze coming from the shell hitting the tank. So it's very well detailed here, I love it. Next, let's go into the 3 states of operation. You've got normal, damage, and destroy, which sounds pretty basic. Each component can exist in one of 3 states of operation, directly influencing the tank's performance and visual appearance. So the normal state, the component is fully functional, operating at peak efficiency. So that's when your tank is kind of like not highlighted in yellow or red, it's basically working fine. We've got damage, so that means the component has taken a hit, its performance is degraded, and visual cues indicate its component state, comprised state. And then lastly is destroyed. The component is completely destroyed, often leading to severe gameplay penalties or even the destruction of the tank itself. Visuals will reflect catastrophic failure. So as you can see from this clip here, you can see the tank that you're playing in looks like a Panzer 4H. You can see that the track is in yellow, so that means it's damaged but not fully out. The engine, that looks like the engine possibly at the back there, that means it's fully dead, you know, or it's fully just not working at all, or it could be the suspension possibly, and then that's the engine at the front. I'm not quite sure. So you can see that it's yellow meaning it's damaged, red means it's destroyed, and you can see from the wee icons here that your suspension's damaged, it's completely done. Your hull is kind of yellow, so it's damaged, and your tracks has been just completely cut off, so that means it's destroyed. So that's very similar. I would say that's very similar to, again, like World Tanks and War Thunder. They have this type of system in the game as well, so it is very unique. It is kind of similar to that, so players will be hopefully familiar. If you do play those games, then you will be familiar to this kind of normal, damaged, and destroyed kind of system that you see in the game. And you can see that your crew is slightly damaged as well, which we'll get into the set. Now you've got the components. So components are represented by volumes on the tank. Damage is immediately apparent, offering visual feedback and direct gameplay consequences. Catastrophic failure or severe performance degradation. So you can see that this is again another random picture of a Panzer 4H. You can see that even though my face is now brightened, it's because of the screen. You can see that you've got different components. So you've got the drivetrain, sorry I said suspension, drivetrain, you've got the tracks, you've got the gun barrel, you've got the mantlet, the gun mount, the turret, hull, engine, ammo rack, and fuel tank. All these components here can be easily damaged. That is basically what they're saying. It doesn't matter, you basically have to specifically maybe aim at a certain point in the attack to get maybe those hits. So if you want to damage the gun, aim for the gun barrel. If you want to aim for the fuel tank, aim here in the Panzer 4. So it's kind of already giving you clues. If you're up against, if you're playing a Sherman and you're up against a Panzer 4, these are the areas where to hit. So this tank, this picture might help you or give you an idea of when you get this game where to shoot a Panzer 4H, or if that's what the tank is. I think it is, or a Panzer 4G, someone can let me know. And then as you can see, I kind of zoom this out a wee bit so you guys can see. You can see all the destroyed is in red, all the damaged is in yellow, and all kind of the normal ones, normal functioning stuff is in kind of a grey, kind of black and white. So that means nothing's damaged, slightly damaged, so you can see no impact to gameplay if you get the hull. The turret rotation speed is reduced, whereas if it's red, that means the vehicle's destroyed, or if the hull is destroyed, that means the vehicle's destroyed. If it's a yellow engine, that means this movement has been reduced. But if it's, so basically, I don't need to go through it, but as you can see, if it's in red, your vehicle gets destroyed or you can't shoot your gun. If it's yellow, it's slightly damaged. Some things will be reduced, but you still can play the game. You still can play your tank, but it's just at a reduced efficiency per se. Okay, let's going on to the crew now. So the crew members are perhaps the most vital components of your tank. Each crew member can be individually harmed, affecting specific aspects of your tank's operation. This adds another layer of tactical depth, as losing a key crew member can significantly impair your combat effectiveness. Crucially, wounded and unconscious crew members can be patched up and returned to combat, offering a chance to recover from devastating hits. Keep a close eye on your crew's well-being. If all of them become unconscious, your tank's battle is over. So yeah, this is where your crew, so for this, it looks like a 4-man crew tank. You have your commander, gunner, loader, driver, and radio operator. If they are wounded, that means for the commander, their AAMG actually is reduced, but if they're completely unconscious, that means they can't command platoon, AAMG, or shoot. For the gunner, it's the focus speed is reduced and the gun can't, but if they're unconscious, that means they can't shoot. If it's the loader, that means the reload speed is reduced, and if they're unconscious, that means the gun can't reload at all. If it's the driver, the movement speed is reduced, hull MG accuracy is reduced as well, but if they're completely unconscious, the movement receives drastically reduced and a hull MG can't shoot. And lastly, for the radio operator, the coaxial MG accuracy and reload speed is reduced if they're wounded, and if they're unconscious, the coaxial MG can't shoot at all. So it seems like, I feel like for the commander, this could slightly change for the fact that there may be their vision of where you could see, because there might be like a vision system in the game where you can't see an enemy for a certain amount of distance, and maybe when your commander comes out of the command, you know, the top of the tank to see with his binoculars, that means you might have better range. But if he's unconscious or wounded, maybe the vision is reduced instead of saying the AAMG accuracy is reduced. So I think that's maybe something I would change, but let me know what your thoughts are about the crew as well as the changes or the modules, the components for it. Let me know. And while you're down there, make sure you subscribe and hit that button. Hit that like button. It would be much appreciated. And you can see that. So if you can see that looks like your gunner and your loader is unconscious, your driver and your commander's healthy, and your radio operator is wounded. So you can see that it's red is unconscious, yellow's wounded, and if they are unconscious, that means you can have a look here. So this, I would keep this, maybe this information as kind of a backup or save it somewhere so you can, you know, see, you know, whether, you know, when you are in the gameplay, this will definitely help. But remember, the game is not even released yet, so things are subject to change, remember. And finally coming to the conclusion that our vehicle's damage system is designed to make every engagement feel meaningful and dynamic, from the satisfying thud of a shell bouncing off armor to the dramatic explosion of an ammo rack. We want players to feel the impact of every shot. This multi-layered system of component damage, visual feedback, and crew vulnerability ensures that no two battles are exactly alike, and strategic thinking is always rewarded. We're incredibly excited for you to experience the system firsthand in the game. Stay tuned for more dev diaries as we continue to refine and expand Call to Arms Panzer Elite. In part 2, we'll be diving into our very detailed penetration physics, including the effects of different armor thickness and sloped armor. One of our upcoming dev diaries will also showcase our realistic and visually impressive environment destruction system, which might be part 3. So there you go, guys. That is part 1, the dev diary of the brand new Call to Arms Panzer Elite game. Let me know what you think of part 1. Do you like this new fit? Do you like the component ideas? Do you think it's very similar? I would say my conclusion is that I feel like they're kind of just said, right, we're either going to either take a hit point system or a components based damage, and they've just said, right, we're just going to go for War Thunder type of game where it's component base damage. But at the same time, I know each game is very unique, so when I do play the game, I'd like to see what the differences are between this and War Thunder, or if you are a big War Thunder player yourself, let me know what your thoughts are on the component-based damage, because it seems like it's very similar to War Thunder in that sense, but at the same time it is very unique to its own gameplay by the looks of it. So there you go, guys, that is it for part 1. If you'd like to see part 2, which will come out in the next couple of days, then make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and if you would like to see what this game is all about in the first place, then click left here. But other than that, guys, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and all support, and I will see you in the next video. See you later, and goodbye.